My name is Chris Bailey. Thank you, John. I'm the Motoring Innovation Director for the AA. I'm mainly responsible for the technology that goes in the patrol vehicles, whether it be the diagnostic equipment, the communication equipment, and also working with most of our car manufacturers on providing connected car solutions. So I'm sure you all know the AA anyway, but just a little bit of background. The AA is a fairly old company. We started in 1905. We started trying to protect motorists from getting speeding offences. It didn't work for me recently, but it worked in those days. But we've always been very innovative with lots of new inventions, new solutions. And I think over the years we've launched a lot of new products and services. The reason for putting this slide up is more recently we've obviously we were private equity before we were IPO'd, and when it comes to any investment or anything we do now, there's a lot of scrutiny on making sure, number one, it delivers a return on investment, but also it provides excellent services and quality to our customers. So that's key to everything that the AA does. So the AA business has lots of products, around 80 products plus, but the products that you'll be familiar with is roadside assistance, insurance services and driving services. So just to give you some of the numbers there, so we've got roughly 3.3 million personal customers. We've got around 10 million B2B customers, and I'll go through them shortly. We've got about 1.9 million insurance policies on the go, which includes home. And we've also got the two largest driving schools in the UK, that being the AA driving school and the BSM driving school. Okay, don't need that slide. So, as far as the AA is concerned, we are one of the most trusted brands in the UK, and again I think that for me means anything we do has to work, has to be reliable, has to be sustainable going forwards. Often people buy our products and run them for tens of years. So when we pick partners, we need to make sure we're actually picking the right partners. Again, just a little bit about the AA, moments of truth, where we are. You can see the size of the AA. We've been fairly successful. We've got around 67% of the manufacturer accounts with the likes of Ford and others. And what I'd like to try and show you is just some of the partners that we're working with. So from a B2B perspective, which is very key to the AA and also key to my connected car strategy going forward, we've obviously got a lot of relationships with motor manufacturers. I don't know if you can see there, but some of them there are like with Ford. We've been with Ford for 11 years now. 21 years with people like Lotus, 21 years with Honda, 6 years recently with Jaguar Land Rover. But we're also very big in the fleet and leasing area as well, so we've got some really big customers there that we've got very long-term good relationships with. And another huge growth area representing millions of our customers is in the banking and AVAs. So things like Lloyds TSB, we've obviously got a lot of business with them, and that's also key for developing services with them. I think it's fair to say that a lot of the companies you see on there are actually being in discussion with, actually talking around telematics services. So the AA will provide things like breakdown assistance. So we'll provide a telematics service for breakdown assistance, maybe provide e-call, maybe stolen vehicle tracking. We're providing different services now for different manufacturers. And obviously working with partners to provide some of those services, either for their vehicles that are already in the car park today, or helping them provide new services for new vehicles in the future. We're spending a lot of time and effort in those areas. So this really just outlines the strategy of the AA, and there's one line there, this one here, which is develop our connected car positioning. But actually connected car fits into several of these areas. You know, whether it be the digitisation of the AA, whether it's providing new products and services to our members, it actually is very integral to our whole strategy. So, connected car. The way we see connected car is just membership in a modern world. Being able to look after our customers, support our customers, provide innovative new products to our customers. And we started probably back in 1996, equipping all of our fleet with an automatic vehicle location system, and also a automatic dispatch system and route planning system. And it's great to see where Trakm8 are now, because they're actually going down those routes. So the things that they have been spending a lot of time trying to develop, you know, we've now got another partner we can actually work with and look at if we can take their services as well. But the relationship with Trakm8 actually started around 2010. We'd spent a lot of time looking at various different suppliers of telematic services. But then we came across Trakm8, a company I wasn't familiar with at the time, because they'd only just started to sell telematics services. They'd been doing devices and everything else, but now they're into telematics services. So in 2011, we actually awarded them with our first contract, which was for 3,000 devices. And I've put there, we actually call them the Risky Choice Company. And the reason why they were the Risky Choice Company is because, you know, compared with some of the bigger players like Trimble, you know, they didn't have huge backing at the time. They were a smaller company, but the thing we did like was the agile nature of the business. You know, when we're talking to them about bespoke services, they could offer me bespoke services that some of the bigger players couldn't do. The other thing as well is they also had a great team that I could see had lots of innovation, which is what we were looking for, and they were prepared to listen to us and provide services that would meet our requirements going forwards. So by year one, 2012, we'd already saved £2 million alone on fuel. And there's a small slide here saying it's not just fuel. It's things like if you can improve driver behaviour, you can improve tyres, brakes, clutches, reduce your accidents, improve your insurance costs, get better compliance, and have less downtime for your fleet. So anything I would put on for fuel, I can generally nearly double it for the other services and other benefits we get from these Trakm8 services. In 2013, we then went to the rest of the AA, not just the yellow fleet that you're familiar with, but other parts like the recovery fleet, our home assistance business, fuel assist, Jaguar Land Rover assist, lots of other businesses we have. We actually started putting telematics service into those vehicles. And then by 2014, we're then going into our 2 driving schools. And again, not just providing telematics fleet services, but looking at how we could provide new innovative driving lessons, how we could give great feedback to our trainees. Things like using mobile phone apps, so they could actually plot how well they were driving and what their future score was going forward. So all of these services were fairly new at the time, and again, Trakm8 helped us deliver those services. And we're still building upon those now, so it doesn't stop. We're still expanding those services today. In 2015 into 2016, we actually launched a 10,000 unit trial. Now, this is a substantial trial. A lot of people trial, you know, 100 units, 1,000 units. We actually went into a 10,000 unit trial. What I've taken from here is just some of the analytics we're capturing, and I don't think you can read it along the top, but I'll just read you some of the headings we've got there. Things like overview of journeys. We can see what our members are doing with their consent, so they do agree to this. We can see where they're going, what their journeys are. We can see what kind of vehicles they're driving. We can see what their driving behaviour is like. We can now start to see faults, and the main purpose of this was to try and help our members keep on the road, keep them mobile. And again, by analysing that fault data, we've learnt so much. We could see the batteries, see what state. The most common fault we have is faulty batteries. And again, letting you know there's something wrong with the battery before it happens can avoid a breakdown. First notification of loss. From an insurance perspective, you can always just see the potential there. Not only actually being there to support our member when they have an accident, but then provide additional service off the back of that as well. So this, it's not very clear to see from there, I do apologise, but this is showing you all of the faults on what we call the powertrain. I won't get any more technical than that, but this gives me every single fault of a vehicle, sometimes before they even happen. I can see things happening on a vehicle before they become a fault. If I can do something to get in touch with that member and avoid that breakdown, that's a great service for them and a great service for us, possibly, you know, saving the air money as well, but providing a great service. I mentioned batteries earlier on. Each one of these quartiles effectively shows you vehicles 0 to 500 miles a month, vehicles 500 to 1,000 miles a month, etc. And it's showing us how many batteries are faulty. And often the customer doesn't even know their battery is failing. We can see that, and we can now give the member advice, you know, to get the battery checked. So again, for us, for our number one fault at the roadside, batteries, representing 17% of breakdowns, this is revolutionary for us to do this. And again, it's not just measuring a battery, it's what you do with that, and Trakm8 have been fundamental in developing algorithms to actually measure the batteries really accurately for us. We also launched with Trakm8 a fleet telematics business, AA Fleet, from a B2B perspective, using all of the capabilities of the AA. So, you know, the breakdown rescue service, the management information we have, our training schools, business clubs. That's in its infancy right now. It's something where we've been holding back because we really wanted to launch our consumer product first. But you know, believe me, we will be putting a lot more focus on this going forward over the next coming months, and we'll see more of that later. So the latest thing, which I'm sure you've all seen, we have just launched something called AA Car Genie. So AA Genie has had 10 million viewings over the last month. If you watch Game of Thrones, Coronation Street or anything like that, you'll have seen Car Genie. This is just the start. So Car Genie basically is a very basic tool. It does the basic telematics services, but we have to start somewhere, and the idea is to kind of get our members engaged in this and then grow it. It's a standalone product today because we haven't got our systems set up yet, but it will be an integral part of our product offering going forward. So, again, watch more of that. So this is really more of a summary. So for Connected Car for the AA addresses a range of customers, B2B, B2B2C needs, and it's not just about breakdown. I've tried to highlight there some of the things where we will be using telematics services along with car manufacturers, along with our members going forwards. There's been a few things mentioned today. One of them was a contract with a company called Intelematics. The AA is actually a shareholder of Intelematics. Intelematics is a group of automobile clubs around the world working together. So we have now something called Intelematics Europe, which there is a major shareholder of, but we have Intelematics Australia and we have Intelematics America. And now, believe it or not, within Europe we are now taking the lead. We were the last one to join, but we are now actually taking the lead within the Intelematics group in some of the new developments that we're doing in our technology and actually using the data from these telematics services. And hopefully Intelematics will be selling more of these products to other clubs from a global perspective, but also within Europe. So the AA also is a shareholder of a company called ARC Europe. That provides services to mainly car manufacturers, but it does provide them to fleet services as well. So again, working within ARC, I'm hoping that we can start selling more of these telematics services to those other clubs around the world, because if anybody can make telematics work, the clubs can. Most of them are into insurance, they're into breakdown, they're into journeys, travel and everything else. So hopefully you can see the relevance of a motoring organisation within the connected car area. Okay, that was it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.